Now, our guest speaker for today is Mr. Tony Moriarty, who is the co-founder of Deckard Technologies and VP of Data Science. Guided by the principle of AI for good, Deckard harnesses big data to promote fairness and equity in society. Tony's team develops AI models that process billions of data points daily, delivering crucial insights to over 300 local governments internationally. Previously, Tony worked at Fortune 500 companies, including Qualcomm and Canon. He is the inventor of 7 patents and has been featured in Create magazine by Engineers Australia. Tony received his Masters of Data Science from the University of Sydney in 2018, presenting his thesis, Prediction of Crime Rates Using Big Data, at the ANZ ANZOC Criminology Conference. He champions ethical AI that bridges the gap between theoretical research and real-world impact. Tony, it's a great pleasure to welcome you back to the university, and I invite you to deliver the occasional address.
I'd like to start by thanking the presiding officer, Pro-Chancellor Mr. Jason Yatsen-Lee, and the Faculty Dean, Professor Kalina Youssef. I'd also like to thank all the faculty staff, distinguished guests, and, just as importantly, all of you, the graduates. Thank you to the university for the opportunity to address you all today. I've been asked here today to give guidance, possibly even impart some wisdom. My speech today can be summarised with 2 main points. You can't control where you end up in life, but you can control the direction you're heading. And make sure you focus on enjoying the journey. I'd like to go off script for a second and just talk to you about something that's been a theme up here on this stage, and it's of vital importance. The network that you've built here at the university will be with you for the rest of your life. And I encourage you, I implore you to keep those connections strong, keep in contact with your fellow students, your fellow graduates, with any academic staff that may have had an impact on you. Keep in contact, because those fellow graduates of yours, they're not only friends, they're going to be at the same point in their career as you for the rest of your lives. So they're going to have similar experiences, they're going to have similar problems. Talk to them, share with them. It's so important. It's one of the most valuable things you can get from this university, obviously apart from the academic knowledge. It's a great honour for me to return to this wonderful university and address all of you who are sitting here where I was only 7 years ago. You should be extremely proud of your achievements, the sacrifices you've made to be able to sit here today. You might be wondering where this degree will take you. Maybe you already have grand plans. The only thing I can tell you at this point is you will not end up where you expect. Chances are it'll be somewhere better. After I graduated from this university, I was keen to apply the techniques I'd learnt. I wanted to continue to grow in my existing job at a large multinational tech company, but fate had other ideas. Within 6 months, our entire country division was made redundant, and I was left with a decision to make. Many of my ex-colleagues went into roles at other large companies, which seemed like a pretty safe option. But the other option I had was the chance to create a startup, something which had always looked interesting to me, and luckily I had a couple of ex-colleagues who shared a similar mindset. Ultimately, I chose, with these ex-colleagues, to form the startup Deckard Technologies. There was one main reason. I believed in the mission, and I was tired of playing it safe. We wanted to found a company to promote equity in society using data, starting with using open data to expose inequalities in taxation and unfairness. These inequalities disproportionately affect those who can least afford it, these people who lose proportionally much more of their income to tax. If you're lucky enough to have the liberty to choose where you work, it's vital to think about the impact of what you do. Corporations are hugely powerful collections of people. Collectively, they can achieve so much, but if you don't agree with the macro goals of your employer, or you're working in an industry whose aims make you feel uncomfortable, you may find yourself far more inspired pursuing a career that better fits your principles. Satisfaction in a job well done is amplified when the job is taking strides towards a goal that you believe in. Co-founding your own company may seem like a great choice. You get to be your own boss, you get a huge say in the path the company takes, but you'll already be aware it comes with huge challenges and risks. At the start, you're working for little to no income, you're holding equity in a company that's worth nothing, may never be worth anything. Startups demand you to do everything. You're a designer, you're an engineer, you're a project manager, you're an armchair accountant, you're even an armchair lawyer. You'll find yourself putting in 60-plus hour weeks. And that's before you actually manage to land any customers. The most vital lesson I learned was that you need to take care of yourself, your happiness, and the happiness of your loved ones. Be strict about your work time and be strict about your leisure time. Employers, be they a startup or a large corporation, they're going to keep asking more of you until you break. You need to have the confidence to push back when demands are unfair or unrealistic. Too many people wear overwork as a badge of honour, but you will be ultimately more effective and happier if you're well rested and mentally well than if you're constantly battling exhaustion and running on pure anxious energy. Life isn't work. Life is actually the things that happen when you're away from the office. Time with loved ones, time spent on hobbies, expanding your mind with education. When you're retired and you look back at your life, what will you remember most fondly? What will you remember most clearly? It's probably not going to be that deliverable that you worked all night to get through on time for a client. At work and in education, as in life, it's so important to be an active listener. Understand the motives of those to whom you're speaking, and if the task is unclear, never be afraid to bounce your ideas off someone with more experience. Seek to get out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is the zone in which you are not personally growing. Do not be afraid to make mistakes, as long as they're not fatal. We learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes. The same is true when it comes to leading others. A good manager will allow their followers to make their own mistakes, allowing them to grow, allowing them to understand. A good leader cannot expect their staff to do everything the same way they would, or even as quickly as they would. But both you and your staff will grow from the freedom you give them. When I said earlier you won't end up where you expect in your career, that doesn't mean you won't succeed. When you're presented with choices in your career, be clear with yourself about your own values, your own goals, and make sure your next step brings you closer to those goals. Away from work, take the time to volunteer. It's too easy an excuse to think you don't have the time. Make the time. Find a cause close to your heart and dedicate time to it. It could be teaching STEM to underprivileged kids, volunteering to help the less fortunate in society, or even assisting a political candidate whose views align with yours. You'll meet like-minded people, you'll learn, and you'll feel good about what you've achieved. I wish you all every success in your career, whether it's growing something of your own, growing a larger endeavour in which you truly believe, or growing the minds around you as this university and its staff do so well. Take steps which move you closer to your goals without getting hung up on when you'll actually get there. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the moments in between, and always keep looking to grow. That's where you'll find life's rewards, all those things that you actually want to do, which hide amongst all those things that you have to do. I wish you all the best and success in your future careers. Thank you.